Good evening and salutations, my Days of Elias fans. So, tell me, why is Alex in the bar drowning his sorrows like he lost everything? Listen, I get the whole thing is kind of jarring that you found that at one point, well, Justin was your dad, and you found out that Victor was your dad, and then you found out that Justin was your dad. Okay, fine. I get that part. But it's been at least a couple of days now. Why are we still drowning our sorrows? And it just occurred to me. I feel like, and it's just my opinion. I feel like he's more upset about the power that he lost, the money, the entitlement that comes with that. And it's like, bro, it's not really. Even with Teresa, because apparently he was like head over heels with this woman, and I'm just like, I feel like you dodged a bullet. I feel like you dodged a bullet. And if he wasn't so arrogant, he would have dodged it a long time ago. But the point is, you dodged a bullet. And hell, you can do worse fathers than Justin. So, like, maybe you should think about counting your blessings. Now, when he came over and invited himself to Brady's table, he thought that Brady was not there drinking because of Teresa. It's like, no, it's just club soda. But he doesn't know that he actually has been drinking himself because of Teresa, out of all people. They talk a little bit about Kristen and how Kristen wants to sit there and be with him, and he's all like, "Oh, I'm gonna swear off men." I'm like, "Yeah, okay, sure." So he drinks his club soda because he's not gonna sit there and drink, and have other people know about it. He'll just drink in his room. So he drank for a little bit, and then Brady's like, "Hey, listen, whatever, I got it. I know you just took a financial hit." I don't know how to sit there and put this, but he's not going to be destitute. Let's stop trying to act like he's going to lose his car payments in a couple months and just be on the streets. Um, he goes to the Titan office, and he's collecting his stuff. He runs into Xander, which, by the way, Xander was not there. First of all, Xander found underwear on Fiona's desktop, on her desk or whatever. And it's like, oh, who is it? Maybe I know this person. I'm like, why would you want to sit there and meet the person or know the person that she hooked up with? Does that make any sense? And he believes a lot of her lies, mostly because Sarah has to. If Sarah was not pushing this man so much, he would have probably saw her lies coming from a mile away. Um, Now Fiona's like, are you gonna sit there and take your birthright? He's has his reasons why he doesn't want to do it, and this, that, and the third. And he's all like, well, it's not like my wife don't sit there and make enough money. I was like, yeah, but that's not the point, though. You shouldn't be putting all that financial burden on your wife, and you're rich. I mean, I know money isn't everything, but it does help. I mean, and again, I also know that one of the things he said was that he'll sit there and be able to spend more time with his daughter. But I'm like, yeah, I'm sorry, but I feel like at some point that would start to get kind of exhausting. I would imagine it would if there's only one person sitting there working. Um, so he does go to the office. He runs into Alex. He offers him a job still there, and Alex is like, "Nah, I'm good." And he gives him the watch, and he leaves. Now Xander's sitting there looking at that chair in the office and everything like that. He sits down and he gets kind of comfortable. He has that look in his face like, maybe this chair does suit me. Now, Jack and Chad find John, right? Find him um, after waking him up or whatever. They try to ask, like, what are you doing here? How did you get here? They start asking him questions like, did you see anybody? I'm like, he's not really in the right place to sit there and be answering questions. He can't even stand at this point, let alone be sitting there going through 100 round of questions. But John does manage to talk to Marlena because she was worried when Steve was telling her about the blood and being missing and everything. Now Jack wants to then get this guy, some medical attention and stuff. So he was like, Chad, let's go. And Chad doesn't want to leave. Chad's like, no, I want to sit there and wait for the kidnappers to show. I'm like, wait, you wanna wait for the kidnappers to show by yourself? No gun. Unless you're John Wick, get your ass up and out of there. And that's what Jonathan is saying. You don't have a gun or anything like that. What are you doing? It's like, no. I'm not leaving. So they're like, okay, all right. And he waits there. He does find a bracelet of Abby's. So he is on the right track. But I'm also just like, when Jack was like, hey, listen, you need to sit there and think about Charlotte and Thomas. It's like, I am. You're not. Now, you're putting yourself in a dangerous situation with no backup, no weapon, by yourself. I'm sorry, but that seems like that's doing the exact opposite of think about Charlotte and Thomas. Anyway, I'm going to be honest. I generally did not care about the scenes with Stephanie and Kayla. Stephanie and the fake ugly crying that she was doing, talking about poor Everett this, poor Everett that. I felt like in some ways they kind of dropped the ball a little bit on the DID story. But I heard that he's still on contract, so I have no idea how they're going to bring him back, even though his body is in the morgue, but whatever. So she cries for about 38 minutes, and they're talking about poor Everett this, poor Everett that. They bring up Abby a little bit. She talks about her misadventures with Chad, and she starts blaming herself. I mean, she's just doing all the things that would just typically. I don't know. Point is, it didn't really do anything for me. Um, she goes back to her apartment and she runs to Alex. I'm assuming they're gonna wind up hooking up because he's still bummed out with Teresa for some odd reason, and she can't stop thinking about Everett for reasons that are unbeknownst to me. So they're probably gonna wind up hooking up. Speaking of hooking up, Brady comes back and those two start doing the most awkward, weird kissing I've ever seen. This almost looked like a parody. This almost looked like an SNL skit at this point, the way they were kissing. They were just like, not to mention that, isn't that like his aunt or whatever? I mean, I know it's by marriage, not blood, but like, really, bro? I mean, when y'all was just drinking together, it was fine, but like, I don't know. I find it to just be kind of weird, even though not blood related. It's just kind of weird to me. Um, yeah, I feel like that's about it. Let me just double check. Anyway, not a terrible episode. Um, again, I think the only time it kind of came to a screeching halt was with Stephanie. I think my question for y'all is, what is Fiona's intentions? Because we can all sit there and say it's most likely about money. She has been urging him more than once to sit there and, go for his birthright. And she did, granted, she said that, the only objection she had with Sarah was that she felt like he wasn't in a good headspace. But I also just look at it as like maybe, don't have to sit there and share his fortune with Sarah if she's not in the picture. But again, I feel like that's just obvious. So if it's not about the money, it can't just be because she wants to sit there and reconnect. I mean, it's possible. I don't know. But anyway, let me know in the comment section what do you think her intentions are. With that being said, I'm going to go. Hopefully I can get GH done, do that review, and do the live stream tonight. So check the community tab, and hopefully I'll see you there.